Have you ever heard of a town that just disappeared? Not abandoned. Not swallowed by fire or flood. Not evacuated because of some chemical leak. I mean, truly, gone. As if it folded into itself, erased from existence, taking everything and everyone with it. The name of that town was Granger Hollow. You probably haven't heard of it. It doesn't show up on modern maps. And even when it did, it was a speck, a whisper. A place with no tourist appeal, no industry, just a post office, a diner, a general store, and a community that kept to itself. I found Granger Hollow by accident. It was the summer of 2017. I was on a solo road trip, meant to clear my head after a particularly bad breakup and an even worse job loss. I'd taken the back roads intentionally chasing quiet, chasing space. Somewhere in rural Appalachia, my GPS started glitching. It told me to take a left down a dirt path that barely looked like a road. I almost skipped it. But the next gas station was 40 miles in the opposite direction, and my tank was flirting with empty. So I turned. And that's when everything changed. The trees closed in. The sky, which had been bright and open just minutes before, turned gray, like a storm was holding its breath. The further I drove, the more I realized I hadn't passed another car. No animals, no sounds, except gravel, crunching beneath my tires. About 10 minutes in, I saw a sign. Wooden, splintered, barely legible. Welcome to Granger Hollow. Establishment ആയിരത്തി എണ്ണൂറ്റി അമ്പത്തിനാല്. There was something unsettling about it. The letters looked hand-carved, and behind them, I swear, there were gouges. Deep claw marks. Not from a bear or a cougar. Too uniform. Too deliberate. But I pressed on. The town came into view slowly. First a rusted gas station with a single pump. Then an old chapel with broken stained glass. Then the diner still lit up inside, still with a flickering, open sign. I parked outside the diner. My phone had 0 bars. The GPS screen was black. I pocketed it and stepped inside. There were people there. A waitress in her 60s. 2 older men at the counter. A couple in a booth by the window. And all of them stopped when I entered. Not dramatically. No record scratch moment. Just this subtle, synchronized silence. Their eyes on me. Watching. Measuring. The waitress smiled eventually. Haven't had a traveler in a long time, she said, pouring coffee without asking. I sat, nodded, tried to make light of it. Guess I took a wrong turn. GPS led me here. Her smile didn't falter, but her eyes didn't match it. They do that sometimes. They? I assumed she meant satellites or signals. But something about the way she said it. I drank the coffee. It tasted off. Metallic. Like it had been steeped in iron. You looking for gas? One of the older men asked. I nodded. He motioned to the gas station. Tank is always full. Pump works. But you need to pay in coin. No cards. Coin? I thought he was joking. But no one laughed. I had a few quarters, a couple of dollar coins from a toll booth. Enough, maybe, for a few gallons. I thanked them and left. The pump worked. But as I filled my tank, I noticed something in the reflection of the gas station window. A child. Standing behind me. I turned. No one was there. When I looked back at the window, there was a handprint. Small. Greasy. Pressed against the glass from the inside. But the station was locked. I got in my car and drove. Tried to leave the way I came. Except, the road was gone. I mean it. The dirt road I had driven in on, the one with the gravel and the tree cover. The carved sign, it was gone. In its place, dense forest, as if the road had never existed. I turned around, drove in the other direction, same result. Every road led me back to Granger Hollow, like the town was folding around me. I tried staying in my car, tried driving at random. It always brought me back. At dusk, the people changed. I saw them standing in the streets, motionless, heads tilted, eyes wide, some of them bleeding from the nose, the ears, some grinning with too many teeth. The couple from the diner stood hand in hand, but they were no longer human. Her face was sunken. His eyes were black, not dark black, void, like someone had scooped them out. I tried to confront them, asked what this place was. They spoke in unison. Granger Hollow is home. It lets you in when it wants, but it never lets you leave. I ran. Found a boarded-up house with the door ajar. I pushed inside. Empty. Dusty. But the fireplace was lit. There were pictures on the mantel. Families. Smiling. Normal. But all of their eyes were scratched out. Every single one. There was writing on the wall in the hallway, in red. Faded but legible. The hollow eats what it loves. I stayed awake all night, listening. There were footsteps outside, heavy ones, and whispers in the vents. One voice kept repeating my name. How did it know my name? By morning, the town looked different, brighter. The diner was serving breakfast. The gas station had music playing from an old radio. It almost felt normal, but I knew better. I walked to the chapel. Inside, there were rows of pews filled with mannequins, all facing forward, all dressed in Sunday best. And in the pulpit, a priest, motionless, hands raised. But his face had been removed. Just blank skin, stretched over bone. There was a book open on the altar. My name was written inside. Not once. Dozens of times. And next to each entry, the word stay. I don't know how many days passed. Time doesn't move normally in Granger Hollow. Sometimes I woke to darkness. Sometimes to dusk. The town rearranged itself. Buildings moved. The people, if they were people, changed shape. But then, one day, I saw it. A road. Not the one I came in on, but real pavement. With cars in the distance. Lights. Movement. I ran. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. And when I crossed the invisible threshold, I collapsed. My phone pinged. Full service. My GPS rebooted. I was 37 miles from where I'd entered. I reported Granger Hollow to the police, the state, the historical registry. No one found anything. They said it never existed, that there were no towns by that name, no records. But I know what I saw. I still dream of it. I still hear my name in the vents. And sometimes, when I close my eyes, I see the chapel, and the book, and a fresh page, waiting for me. Subscribe, if you dare.